Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 3rd of Jan 2024 and exactly 15 years ago guys, the Bitcoin blockchain was actually launched. So today is the 15th year anniversary of the Bitcoin blockchain. So what I'm going to be doing guys in today's episode, before reading out the price of Bitcoin, what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be asking ChatGPT to give an explanation about the Bitcoin white paper. And what better day to go ahead and explore the Bitcoin white paper once again. So stay tuned and definitely go ahead and have a listen to that. Now listen guys, unfortunately, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency has plummeted. And that is because of an article which is written by Matrix Spot that actually talks about why the US Security and Exchange Commission will go ahead and reject the Bitcoin Spot ETF again. Now listen guys, I've made my stance absolutely crystal clear. And I do actually agree to what the article states. So in today's episode, I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And guys, this article is actually written by Marcus Thielen. And in June of 2023, I did have an interview with him where we actually talk about the book that he's actually written. And we went ahead and explored the reasoning as to why he's written the book and what is it that you can go ahead and expect from that book. So feel free to go ahead and check this episode out as well. And the article that he's written, guys, I 100% agree to it. Because the article talks about how the Democrats are in control of what is going on in the US Security and Exchange Commission, and I'll definitely go ahead and share my thoughts on it. Now look guys, since the last 24 hours, Arbitrum's ARB token has definitely gone ahead and set a new record, and that is to do with total value locked. And guys, in my episode that I released yesterday, I did talk about that the volumes in DeFi was not looking good at all, and I very specifically mentioned I wouldn't be surprised if the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies do actually plummet down, and that is what has happened. Now listen guys, despite the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency going down, Michael Saylor, one of the advocates of Bitcoin, is in the news once again. But this time guys, what he's doing is, he's going ahead and selling a lot of his MicroStrategy stock, which I believe is worth $216 million. And in selling these stocks, he's going ahead and accumulating quite a lot of Bitcoin. Now listen guys, I hate to say it, when you talk about Bitcoin, only the multi-millionaires are able to afford it, isn't it? And this whole notion of peer-to-peer electronic cash system sounds great, but looks like the role of the bank has now been replaced by multi-billionaires, celebrities and influencers. So me personally, I'm not a fan of multi-millionaires, billionaires, celebrities and early influencers in a position to go ahead and acquire a lot of Bitcoin. And guys, listen, if the Bitcoin Spot ETF does actually get approved, unfortunately, an average citizen, let's say someone from a developing nation or underdeveloping nation, will not be benefited. The only people who are going to be benefited is people like Michael Saylor, multi-millionaires, billionaires, high net worthy individuals, celebrities, early influencers and early adopters, isn't it? That is unfortunately one of the drawbacks of human greed. And when you talk about game theory and the limited supply of Bitcoin, unfortunately looks like Satoshi Nakamoto did not solve this problem. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that news. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now both the news guys has to do with an event that I'm conducting towards the end of this year. And the first session guys is called as Metaverse, the Hype Reality and New World Order. So in today's episode, what I'm going to be doing is, I'll go ahead and explain what is it that you can expect at the session. And look guys, if you want to go ahead and sponsor any of these sessions, you're more than welcome to drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. And guys, the second session that takes place on the 31st of January is called a Special Hour Analysis on Bitcoin. And guys, if you've done your Masters or MBA, you would know what Special Hour Analysis stands for. So Special Hour Analysis is an acronym for political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental, and religious analysis on Bitcoins. So in today's episode, I'll go ahead and explain what is it that you can go ahead and expect from this session. Now listen guys, this session is completely free of cost, and I'll go ahead and explain how you can go ahead and register for this session as well. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. So let's kick start with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee a Day has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. They'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee a Day. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee a Day, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee a Day aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now unfortunately guys, the global cryptocurrency market has gone down by well over $100 billion. Now I hate to say this guys, this is the power of just one article. Now that thing being said, does it make Bitcoin the purest form of money? It definitely still does, but unfortunately it looks like a lot of people can actually go and control at least the price of Bitcoin. And guys, since the last 24 hours, the global cryptocurrency market is down by 6.13%. Now listen to this guys, if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it has gone up by $104.86 billion. And what has happened since the last 24 hours, a lot of decentralized exchange has been used, a lot of stable coins has been used as well, but this time rather than buying a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, a lot of selling has been going on. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this. And to be honest guys, for the very first time in 2023 and the first few days of 2024, I've seen that the volume has crossed the $100 billion mark, because today it is at $104.86 billion. And since the last 24 hours, it is actually up by 32.03%. And guys, if you look at the total volume in DeFi, as of today, 3rd of January, it is at $10.43 billion. And DeFi is accounting for 9.95% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And guys, if you look at the total value locked, it is still about the $50 billion mark, and it is at $52.41 billion. And later on, guys, we'll go ahead and discuss some news regarding Arbitrum, where they've reached a new total value locked. Now, so far as total value locked is concerned, Lido is still dominating with 20.53%. And today, guys, decentralized to centralized exchange dominance has bumped up at 20.16%. This, to be honest, is a slight anomaly, because one trend which I've been observing since the last 6 weeks is that decentralized to centralized exchange dominance has been consistently flat, even on weekends, even on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Now looks like on Wednesdays the numbers are bumping up, isn't it? Now let me quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, because Uniswap's volume has gone more than double since the last 24 hours, and as of today it is at $1.80 billion. PancakeSwap, guys, the volume has crossed the $600 million mark, and I wouldn't be surprised for the very first time it has actually crossed the $600 million mark. It is at $602.89 million. Orca, guys, is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $349.93 million. The 4th one is Radium, guys, and its volume is $245.19 million, and Thorchain at number 5th at $238.02 million. Now, guys, let me very quickly run through the volume of stable coins, because since the last 24 hours, guys, it has definitely pumped up, and looks like a lot of selling has been going on. But because they are using stable coins, looks like they are definitely believing in the whole Bitcoin ETF hype, and they have not gone and sold it using decentralized exchanges. Now the volume of stable coins, guys, is at $92.97 billion. And here's the interesting bit, guys. Despite the volume being at $92.97 billion, stable coins is accounting for a lesser percentage of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. It is only accounting for 88.66% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And out of this $92.97 billion, Tether USDT is accounting for $78.72 billion. So looks like since the last 24 hours, guys, what people are doing is, because of the article which is written by Matrix Spot, they are going ahead and selling their Bitcoin, but rather than converting it into fiat currency, looks like they're converting it into stable coins, and most likely it is Tether USDT. And as and when we get some news regarding Bitcoin Spot ETF, I wouldn't be surprised if these stablecoins are being used in order to go ahead and purchase a lot of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Now, Circle USDC's volume, guys, is at $8.75 billion, and Tron USD's volume is a little shy of $500 million mark at $453 million. Now, guys, let's look at the market cap, because to be honest, guys, over $40 billion has gone off from Bitcoin's market cap, and as of today, it is at $842 billion. And if you look at Ethereum's market cap, it has gone down by less than $10 billion, and as of today, it is at $268 billion. If you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, this is the most important metric. Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is a staggering $42.6 billion, and it's clearly no surprise that people have decided to go ahead and dump a lot of the Bitcoin, and they're converting it into stable coins, isn't it? And the 24-hour trading volume of Ethereum is $17.6 billion. Now, if you look at the dominance of Bitcoin, guys, because there is so much of transaction taking place in Bitcoin, it is actually pumped up at 51.55%, and Ethereum's dominance is relatively the same at 16.40%. Now, guys, before I read out the Bitcoin white paper, which is actually written by ChatGPT, let me go ahead and run through the top 5 interoperability protocol. The first one, guys, is Quant. And if you look at its market cap, it is at $1.52 billion, and the price for the token, guys, is at $127.3. Moonbeam, guys, is at number 2 at $336 million, and the price for its token is 0.41 cents. ARK is at number 3, and its market cap is $150 million, and the price for the token, guys, is 0.85 cents. Boba Network is at number 4, and its market cap, guys, surprisingly is less than $100 million. And if I'm not mistaken, guys, Boba Network does have an office or some kind of subsidiary office in Dubai as well. And so far as market cap is concerned, it is at $99.39 million, and the price of its token is 0.272 cents. The fifth one, guys, is Synapse, and its market cap is $82.98 million, and the price of its token is 0.440 cents. Now, guys, before we look at the king of all kings, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reading out the Bitcoin white paper using ChatGPT. Now, mind you, guys, this is a compressed version and not the entire thing. So what I actually did, I went to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, can you give out some key concepts outlined in the Bitcoin white paper? So let me go ahead and read out what ChatGPT says regarding the Bitcoin white paper. And I thought, guys, today is the 15th anniversary of Bitcoin. Why not go ahead and revisit the Bitcoin white paper? So let me go ahead and read out what ChatGPT says. Now, what ChatGPT says, guys, regarding Bitcoin, the first element, let's tackle decentralization. And a core tenet of Bitcoin white paper is the idea of decentralization. And rather than relying on a central entity such as bank or government, Bitcoin operates on a peer-to-peer network. And this decentralization is achieved through a distributed ledger called the blockchain, where transactions are recorded across most nodes on the network. And the second part it talks about is proof of work, and the concept of proof of work is central to Bitcoin's consensus mechanism. Miners who contribute computational power to the network compete to solve complex mathematical puzzles, and the first one to solve the puzzle gets the right to add a new block to the blockchain and is rewarded with newly minted Bitcoin and transaction fees. And proof of work provides security against malicious actors and ensures a distributed agreement on the state of blockchain. And the third point, guys, it talks about is mining and incentives. And the white paper introduces the idea of mining as a process through which new bitcoins are created and transactions are added to the blockchain, and miners are incentivized to participate in the network by earning rewards. And this dual incentive system, rewarding miners for the efforts while also creating new bitcoins, lays the foundation for the system's economic model. And guys, it has some elements regarding blockchain and blocks. So let me read out what ChatGPT says. ChatGPT says, guys, that Bitcoin's blockchain is a chain of blocks, each containing a list of transactions, and the linking of blocks to cryptographic hashes ensures the integrity of the entire transaction history. New blocks are added as regular intervals to the mining process, creating a secure and immutable ledger. And so far as the double spending prevention is concerned, one of the primary challenges in digital currency system is the potential of double spending, where a user could spend the same Bitcoin more than once. And what ChatGPT says, guys, is the timestamp server and the chronological order of transactions in the blockchain addresses this issue, ensuring that each blockchain can only be spent once. Now listen, guys, double spending problem is one of the biggest problems so far centralization is concerned. And me personally, I think, guys, one of the biggest innovation of Satoshi Nakamoto was that he was able to solve the double spending problem. Now let's go back to reading the white paper, and ChatGPT says some points regarding network verification. And what it says is that nodes on Bitcoin blockchain play a crucial role in verifying transactions and maintaining the integrity of the blockchain. And the decentralized nature of the network means that no single entity has control, providing security against censorship and fraud. And regarding privacy, what ChatGPT is saying, while Bitcoin transactions are pseudonymous, meaning they are not directly tied to real-world identities, the white paper acknowledges that additional privacy layers may be needed for enhanced anonymity, and over time, various projects and technologies have been developed to address privacy concerns in the cryptocurrency space. And so far as global nature and accessibility is concerned, the white paper envisions Bitcoin as a global currency accessible to anyone with an internet connection. Its design aims to be inclusive, allowing users from any part of the world to participate in the network without the need for intermediaries. Now just one teeny tiny point, guys, you don't necessarily need to have internet to go ahead and use Bitcoin, because Blockstream, they actually invented a new device where you can actually go ahead and send Bitcoin without using internet as well, and you can also do transaction using sound waves. Now that is a completely different topic altogether, but if you do want to look at some more information, go to the Blockstream website. And guys, regarding the evolution of Bitcoin, what ChatGPT says, while the white paper provides a foundational concept, it's important to know that Bitcoin has evolved since its creation, and the community has implemented improvements, and additional layers like the Lightning Network have been proposed to address scalability issues and enhance the functionality of the network. And the Bitcoin white paper, guys, spanning just 9 pages, has had a profound impact on the world of finance and technology. It introduced a groundbreaking concept that goes beyond a mere digital currency, paving the way for exploration of blockchain technology and inspiring the development of numerous cryptocurrencies and decentralized applications. And the white paper remains a key reference for those interested in understanding the principles of decentralized systems and the potential of cryptocurrencies. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? To be honest, I personally liked what ChatGPT said regarding the white paper written by Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, if you do have any comments or suggestions, mention them in the comments below. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And unfortunately, guys, since the last 24 hours, the price of Bitcoin has gone down, and as of today, it is at $42,981. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 4.91%, and since the last 7 days, it is down by 0.06%. Ethereum, guys, is also down, and as of today, it is at $2,236. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 2.51%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 4.76%. Binance BNB coin, guys, is once again at number 3rd, and as of today, it is at $316. And since the last 24 hours, guys, surprisingly, it is actually up by 2.61%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 1.63%. And guys, if you go to CoinMarketCap, the difference between Binance BNB chain and Solana has definitely exceeded. So I wouldn't be surprised if Binance BNB chain is at number 3rd for at least the next couple of days. Now look, guys, unfortunately, the global cryptocurrency market has gone down. And what happened, guys, is crypto investment service provider called Matrix Sport, they did write an article, and the article is called as Why the SEC Will Reject Bitcoin Spot ETF Again. And what they expect is that the US Security and Exchange Commission to reject all application to list a spot Bitcoin ETF this particular month. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in the show notes below, definitely go and read through it, because to be honest, guys, I personally agree to with everything that is mentioned in the article. And one of the points which is mentioned in the article is that it actually states that the current 5% voting commissioners leading critical for the ETF approval for SEC is dominated by Democrats, and the US Security and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler is not embracing crypto in the US. Now listen, guys, when you talk about Bitcoin and blockchain and cryptocurrency, I hate to say it, Democrats are not in favor of Bitcoin, not in favor of open source, not in favor of innovation, not in favor of freedom of speech. They're definitely in favor of central bank digital currency, and looks like they're definitely not in favor of ETF approval as well, isn't it? The Democrats, guys, are definitely in favor of cancel culture. They are in favor of being woke, and they're definitely in favor of central bank digital currency. As a matter of fact, guys, they're also aggressively focusing on banning Bitcoin as well. Republicans, on the other hand, are definitely in favor of Bitcoin, definitely in favor of open source and innovation, and they're definitely in favor of freedom of speech. And Republicans, guys, have definitely been aggressively working to put a ban on central bank digital currency as well. And listen, guys, I've always said this, an ETF approval most likely will happen when we have a Republican or right-wing ideology as the administration. Now, if President Trump does take over the office, I do feel there's a very high chance of a Bitcoin Spot ETF to be approved. But let me do one thing, guys. Let me go ahead and briefly explain what the article states, because it looks like it is a newsletter and it is called as Matrix on Target, and Matrix on Target's outlook for Bitcoin in 2023 included a bullish prediction of reaching 45,000 by Christmas and a potential surge to 50,000 by the end of January 2024. That is, if the SEC requirements for Bitcoin Spot ETF are met. However, the article expresses skepticism about the current ETF application meeting the necessary criteria, anticipating an SEC rejection in January 2024. And guys, listen, in my episode yesterday, I very specifically mentioned about a tweet by Eric Balcones where he was actually surprised that Grayscale Investments did not actually mention an associated partner. That is one of the most important criteria for an approval of a Bitcoin Spot ETF, isn't it? So I wouldn't be surprised if all the ETF applications are rejected. And guys, so far as the article is concerned, the firm highlights the influential role of the 5% voting commissioners leading at the SEC, and they are currently being dominated by Democrats. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, guys, the Democrats are not known for being crypto-friendly, and they are expected to play a pivotal role in the decision-making process. And look, guys, Gary Gensler's apparent lack of enthusiasm for ETF and his emphasis on the need for stricter compliance does actually contribute to Matrix on Target's belief that he's unlikely to approve a Bitcoin Spot ETF. I 100% agree to it, but so far as the newsletter is concerned, that is Matrix on Target, they do actually point out that an approved ETF could serve as a catalyst for the broader crypto market, but Gary Gensler's cautious stance and the perceived lack of political motivation to legitimize Bitcoin make the approval seem unlikely. I 100% agree to this, guys. And guys, what they have actually mentioned in the article is since traders began anticipating an ETF approval in September 2023, they estimate that around $14 billion in additional funds have flowed into the crypto market, with $10 billion specifically tied to the expectation of ETF approval. And guys, in the event of an SEC denial, the firm predicts potential cascading liquidations, leading to a rapid 20% decline in Bitcoin price, possibly falling back to $36,000 to $38,000 range. Now listen, guys, I do agree to what the article is saying, but so far as predictions is concerned, all I have to say is all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. So regarding predictions, be it let's say for Matrix Spot, be it let's say even from Bitcoin Maximalist, you definitely have to take it with a pinch of salt. And guys, what the article finally says, to manage risk, Matrix on Target recommends that traders hedge their long exposure by purchasing 40,000 strike puts for the end of January, or consider outright short positions on Bitcoin through options. Definitely interesting point. But listen, guys, despite the potential setback of an ETF denial, Matrix on Target maintains an overall positive outlook for Bitcoin, and they expect the prices to be higher by the end of 2024 compared to the starting point of 42,000, citing historical trends that suggest positive performance during US election year and Bitcoin mining halving as well. And this long-term optimism provides a counterbalance to the short-term concern related to the ETF approval process. Now look, guys, I 100% agree to it. There's pretty much nothing I disagree to it apart from the price prediction. And guys, because of this article, CoinDesk actually states that $400 million were liquidated in just a matter of 2 hours, and interest fell by $2 billion due to liquidation. Now, so far as Bitcoin ETF news is concerned, guys, even gold advocate and Bitcoin detractor Peter Schiff warns that a Bitcoin Spot ETF approval could actually collapse the Bitcoin market. Now listen, guys, he's not a massive fan of Bitcoin at all, but he did actually mention via his tweet, and he's given his reasoning. Now me personally, guys, I'm a massive fan of Peter Schiff. Despite he bashes Bitcoin, all of the things that he does say regarding gold does make a lot of sense. Now, along with Peter Schiff, one of the OGs of Bitcoin and early adopters of Bitcoin and Bitcoin maximalist Samson Sao, he made an interesting point. and he actually said something really important. And what he actually states that Bitcoin ETF raise will push issuers to disclose addresses, and disclosures of variable on-chain proof of work showing Bitcoin reserves would be the best option for Bitcoin Spot ETF issuers to ensure their holdings. And this was according to the article that is published on Cointelegraph. But here's the interesting bit, guys. None of the existing 14 applicants have been working to provide on-chain proof. So does this mean a Bitcoin Spot ETF could be rejected? Most likely that's what it looks like, isn't it? So it looks like the US Securities and Exchange Commission could actually go ahead and decline this based on technical factors and also based on political motivation as well. These are my honest thoughts, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Now, guys, let's discuss some news, and that is to do with a multi-millionaire or maybe billionaire going ahead and purchasing more Bitcoin. And to be honest, guys, me personally, I'm not a fan of Michael Saylor. I don't think he's the right advocate for Bitcoin, because I've said this so many times on his Twitter posts. He does post quite a lot of misleading, fake news and incorrect information regarding Bitcoin. Now, mind you guys, I absolutely love Bitcoin, but what I do not like is fake news and misleading information that he tweets, because what he wants to do is, by using the power of Twitter, he wants to go ahead and create artificial demand, because look, this is what is going to happen. He already has quite a lot of Bitcoin. By creating artificial demand for Bitcoin, his followers will go ahead and buy a lot more Bitcoin. And the answer is pretty simple, guys. As and when more people go ahead and buy Bitcoin, his own existing network in Bitcoin will increase, isn't it? Now, so far as this news is concerned, Michael Saylor, who is now the executive chairman of MicroStrategy, has initiated the sale of $216 million in company stock options, and this has been revealed by a resale regulatory filing, and the filing, guys, is in the show notes below. And Saylor, guys, intends to divest 5,000 shares per trading day over the next 4 months to meet personal commitments and to increase his personal Bitcoin holdings. Now listen, guys, just a few days ago I talked about MicroStrategy shares did actually see a significant increase of 8.5%, defying the broader market trend of decline in cryptocurrency related stocks. And guys, based on the filing that is in the US Securities and Exchange Commission website, Michael Saylor intends to sell 310,000 shares, and it's important to know that these shares were awarded to Michael Saylor stock options in 2014, and they're set to expire in April of 2024. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding Arbitrum, and the token called as ARB has achieved a new all-time high as the total value locked surpasses $2.5 billion. And guys, what is a big achievement is that the network transaction volume has surpassed those of Solana-based application, which, as we know, experienced a surge following the meme coin frenzy towards the end of December, isn't it? Now, so far as the token is concerned, the price has actually climbed by 10% in the last 24 hours, beating the broader crypto market, and the on-chain volume of Arbitrum-based application has crossed $920 million. So definitely positive news, I guess. So those were some macro-level news, guys, from the cryptocurrency world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And both the news, guys, has to do with an event that I'm conducting on the 31st of Jan. And listen, guys, if you do want to go ahead and sponsor this event, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now the first session, guys, has to do with Metaverse, and the session is called as Metaverse, the Hype, Reality and New World Order. So let me go ahead and share what is it that you can expect at the session. So the session takes place on the 31st of Jan 2024 between 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. The session, guys, is completely free of cost, and what you can do is you can register this via eventbrite.com. So go to eventbrite.com, guys, and search for blockchaindxb.com, and you would see that event over there. Or alternatively, guys, just drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now let me go ahead and explain what is it that you can expect at the session. The whole idea, guys, of me to do this session is to educate the people on Metaverse, because when you talk about the hype of Metaverse, we're going to be understanding what Metaverse is and its impact, and the institutions and companies who joined on board when the whole Metaverse hype was there. And we'll also go ahead and explore the expectation versus reality. We'll look at hardware and software limitations of Metaverse and real-life use cases. Now listen, guys, the very first episode that I released on Metaverse, I very specifically remember I did talk about NVIDIA. And fast forward to now, NVIDIA is on the verge of becoming a $1 trillion company, isn't it? And guys, in the session, we're also going to be looking at if the new world order kicks in, will the United States of America have a competitive edge in the Metaverse? Or will it be China? Will it be Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? Will it be Turkey or any other countries? And what is it that countries can do to be an early adopter in the Metaverse? So essentially, guys, this session is actually broken down into three parts. In part A, we will look at the history of metaverse. We will talk about who termed the metaverse. We'll go ahead and discuss what is metaverse. We'll also look at what is not a metaverse. We'll also discuss the hype surrounding metaverse. Now look guys, unfortunately I hate to say it, in 2023, 99% of the investors who did actually invest in metaverse related products in 2021 and 2022 were in complete losses. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. We'll also go ahead and discuss the hardware and software in the metaverse. And as we know guys, Apple is actually going ahead and launching a new device, and Tim Cook guys has deferred from using the word metaverse, rather he is using augmented reality. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss that. Now in part B guys, we will look at areas where metaverse merges with the physical world, and we'll discuss news and events surrounding metaverse, because what I've been noticing since the last few weeks, there is quite a lot of news regarding metaverse. And listen guys, in Dubai, a lot of the government organizations and entities are actively taking part in metaverse, so we'll definitely go and explore that. And in part B guys, we'll also discuss where does blockchain fit into the metaverse. Now I'm a massive advocate of blockchain guys, but unfortunately I don't think blockchain now will be an ideal fit in the metaverse, because when you talk about metaverse, it is all about the user experiences in it. And when you look at user experience, let's say in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, it is absolutely abhorrent, going back to 1980s. And when you talk about metaverse, the new user experience has to be 10 times better than what we are currently experiencing, and can a centralized entity, nothing connected with blockchain, offer that experience? We'll definitely go ahead and discuss that. And in that episode guys, we'll also discuss what are some of the cryptocurrency tokens associated with metaverse. We'll discuss the top 5 metaverse platforms. We'll discuss the limitations of these platforms as well. And we'll go ahead and discuss the role of NFTs and artificial intelligence in metaverse. So definitely the most important part of the session. And in part C guys, we'll go ahead and look at Dubai metaverse strategy. And guys listen, Sheikh Hamdan is massive advocate of metaverse, and he also has Dubai metaverse strategy. So we'll go ahead and discuss who are the leading governing bodies that are behind metaverse. And one of his visions guys is for Dubai to be the top 10 city in the world so far as metaverse is concerned. And guys, if you go through my episode, I do have a standalone episode talking about Dubai's role in the metaverse. And Dubai guys also has Dubai Metaverse Assembly, so we'll definitely go ahead and explore that. And guys listen, if you do want to go ahead and network, I'll go ahead and share venues, locations and events that'll be completely ideal for networking as well. And guys, this session is completely free of cost. And guys, if you do want to go ahead and sponsor this event, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now guys, let me go ahead and discuss the second news. And this is again got to do with an event that is taking place on the 31st of Jan, and that is called a special hour analysis. And special hour analysis guys, the acronym stands for political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental and religious analysis. And this session also guys takes place on the 31st of January between 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time, and you can register it completely free of cost at eventbrite.com. So go to eventbrite.com and just search for Blockchain DXB guys, or alternatively you can drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now listen guys, if you have done your master's or your MBA, you would know that special hour analysis is a tool used to gain a macro picture of an industry environment, isn't it? And what it does is, it allows us to form an impression of the factors that might impact a new business or new industry at a macro level as well. So in this session guys, we'll be breaking down elements of Bitcoin at a macro level to better understand its impact and vice versa. So we will go ahead and look at each area in detail. Now so far as political is concerned, we'll answer this basic question: is Bitcoin apolitical? In today's episode, I talked about how Democrats are actually not in favor of Bitcoin, but Republicans are in favor of Bitcoin. And guys, if you're someone from UK, you should know that Conservatives are in favor of Bitcoin, but the Labour Party is definitely opposed to Bitcoin. And in India, guys, the BJP party is definitely in favor of Bitcoin, but Congress is extremely opposed to Bitcoin and open source and innovation. Now listen guys, it's so important to note that Bitcoin was created as a movement towards separation of money and the state, isn't it? But politics and politicians do have a very strong say so far as the trajectory and direction of Bitcoin is concerned. And at a macro level guys, right-wing ideologies and right-wing politicians are definitely in favor of Bitcoin, but left-leaning politicians and left-leaning ideologies are definitely not in favor of Bitcoin. Now so far as economical factors is concerned, we will go ahead and answer this basic question: is Bitcoin the biggest global wealth redistribution And can Bitcoin change the dynamics of money? Now look guys, by definition, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Now according to me, Bitcoin is the purest form of money, but if you look at human greed, unfortunately, I hate to say it, the multimillionaires have gotten richer, billionaires have gone multi-billionaires, but people in underdeveloped countries, they are not able to utilize the benefits of Bitcoin, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and look at it from an economical point of view. We will also look at the impact of inflation and the exchange rate and quite a lot more. Now regarding social factors are concerned guys, we'll go ahead and look at social impact of Bitcoin and blockchain for generations to come. And we'll go ahead and answer this basic question. Are millennials the one who are using Bitcoin, or is it boomers who are the one using Bitcoin? Now regarding technological factors guys, we'll go ahead and talk about the user experience of Bitcoin. Now I hate to say it, the user experience of Bitcoin is absolutely horrific, but it does solve a better use case. But if you look at the underlying technology, it is definitely futuristic. We'll also go ahead and discuss the different forks of Bitcoin. And guys, listen, we'll also talk about some technical elements, that is Taproot is not signature. And just roughly around 6 weeks or 8 weeks ago, guys, there was a technical update that had to do with miners that is called as V26.0, I believe. But listen guys, you don't need to worry, you don't need absolutely any technical expertise. I'll go ahead and explain that at a very basic level. And regarding technological factors guys, we'll also look at economies of scale for setting up Bitcoin mining operations. And guys, regarding legal factors, we'll answer this basic question: is Bitcoin legal? And where does governance, regulations and legislations fit in? And what is it that governments can do in order to go ahead and support innovation and Bitcoin? And what is it governments can do from a legal point of view to increase its adoption? Is it ideal for governments to just leave Bitcoin as it is and let the growth be completely organic? We'll definitely go and explore that. Now regarding environmental factors guys, we'll talk about Bitcoin mining energy consumption. We'll discuss ESG, which has been put forward by Larry Fink and BlackRock, and what the future impact is. We'll look at the past, the current and the future state of environmental impact on Bitcoin mining. And finally guys, regarding religious factors, we would answer this basic question: is Bitcoin Sharia compliant? And what are the religious factors and commonality in Bitcoin? And how is Bitcoin seen in the Middle East, and quite a lot more. So definitely a really interesting topic. And guys, this special hour analysis can be done for stable coins, it can be done for metaverse, it can be done for any blockchain or cryptocurrency projects or protocol as well. And guys, this session is completely free of cost. And once again guys, if you want to go ahead and sponsor the second session as well, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. And that's about all guys from Crypto Incorporated from the 3rd of Jan. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Kali who asks, do you think we will see more news regarding metaverse? Now to be honest Kali, the answer to that is yes, but unfortunately I don't like the answer why it is yes, because what I'm noticing right now, because the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are increasing, a lot of the investment is actually flowing into metaverse. So because of that, I do feel at least for the next 3 months, we might see quite a lot more news regarding metaverse. But when you talk about the use case of metaverse, I hate to say that 90% of them have no use in metaverse. And look, Kali, I've said this so many times in my Metaverse Everything podcast especially, is that when you talk about metaverse, the user experience can't be just replicated from current existing systems. When you talk about metaverse, the user experience has to be 10 times better in the metaverse. So having things like YouTube in the metaverse will just not make any sense. Imagine having a YouTube platform in the metaverse, but having a 10x better user experience. Well, let's say you're able to tag all the 5 senses, maybe interact with a person much closer, maybe move around in a 360 direction. That would be a 10x better user experience. just switching things from consistent into metaverse will not cut it. I'm seeing so many projects and protocol what they're claiming and they're boasting is that now you can auto in the metaverse. That, to be honest, is absolutely horrendous. What they are doing is they are taking an online website, putting it in the metaverse. That is an absolutely bizarre use case of metaverse. The new user experience has to be 10 times better than what we are currently experiencing. And listen, the hardware and software solutions are not ready yet. So what I think, Kali, is in order for metaverse to have mainstream adoption, we are looking at least 8 years from now. And something which I did actually mention when I talked about the event that I'm doing in metaverse, Apple is going ahead and launching an augmented reality device. Now that news will definitely drive other companies to go out and launch an augmented reality metaverse as well. And because of that, cryptocurrency and tokens connected to metaverse will definitely bump up in price. So to answer your question, for the next 3 months I will see news regarding metaverse, but I definitely don't see any use case of metaverse. I think the infrastructure is still to be built and we're looking at least 8 to 10 years from now. That is when you're going to see the use case of metaverse. And Carly, what I'd really recommend you to do is, and also for listeners to do is, Lex Friedman did have an interview with Mark Zuckerberg in the metaverse. Now it's really hard for us to gain that experience, but you can tell by Lex Friedman that he was completely blown away by the experience that you can see in metaverse, because what he was saying is that he actually felt that Mark Zuckerberg was right next to him. He could literally actually feel him, and in the metaverse, probably in a decade's time now, we'll be able to even smell that person, maybe even touch that person, maybe even interact with that person virtually. That would be the real use case of metaverse, but I do feel we're at least a decade or maybe 8 years from now, so those are my honest thoughts on it. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything series from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And how the series of episodes under Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.